What's up, everybody? This is Johnny Basement, and we're back here in the basement for another review of incredible ANZAC Day memorial song. This was highly requested in the comments. I didn't get a chance to get to it before ANZAC Day. It doesn't have to be the actual day for us to always have remembrance and respect for those who have fallen before us, those who have gone out and given up their freedom so we can have ours. Sacrificed their lives for us. I'm going to get into the Essendon and Collingwood game. I'm going to watch the replay of it again. I've been really busy the last couple of days. I didn't get a chance to watch it yet. But I'm going to watch it and watch the whole celebration. We're going to do a review on that. But I wanted to keep the theme of respecting the veterans going. This was a song I wanted to get to before ANZAC Day. We're going to get into it right now. Before we do, subscribe, bell notice, hit that like button. Keep this basement rolling. We hit 2,000 subs. Thank you. Thank you. Now we're aiming for 5,000 subs. That's the next goal, 5,000. We're going to get there quicker than we realize, and I thank you guys. You guys are the reason that this channel happens. I just show up. You guys make it happen by joining in and dropping the great comments that you guys always do. You're very helpful to me with your veteran stories and with the footy as well. So, today, this requested song throughout the comments. Eric Bogle, the band played Waltzing Matilda. I looked a little bit into the background of this, just a little bit. The Waltzing Matilda is a swag man, apparently. It's a swag man who had a sleeping roll on his back with all his belongings rolled up in that sleeping roll. He was a traveler. He went from farm to farm, like a working traveler. You guys can go more in depth in the comments with me about a swag man. That's apparently what this was about. It's an old Australian who remembers his time as a young swagman who enters into the military in 1915. Enters into the military, and he's sent to Gallipoli for 10 weary weeks, where he kept alive any way he could while corpses, quoting, corpses piled higher around him. I was never in the military, guys, and guys that have been following along with the videos on these veterans songs. I was never in the military, so I don't know these horrors that we read about, but I can only imagine what it would be like watching corpses pile higher around you during your 10 weeks in there, 18 months, however long people have served. Please, again, guys, drop your stories. I love reading every single one of them in the comments. They do get read. Even if I don't comment back right away, or if at all, it's not a disrespectful thing. There's so many. I can't get to everybody, but I read them all. I read them all. So if you don't catch a comment back from me, doesn't mean I didn't read it. I take everybody's on this stuff very seriously, and I respect everybody's stories. I really do. So please continue to drop them in there. It's not only helpful to me, it's helpful to everybody else that's reading them as well. So I really do appreciate you guys up and down the wall. Families have fallen, the people that have fallen, the people that are struggling with PTSD. I want to read about all of them, guys, and let's keep it moving with the channel with that. So he joined in 1915, kept alive, corpses piled high around him. He awakens in a hospital, noticing that he had lost his legs by a shell burst, where he declares that fate is worse than death, as he can no longer, and I quote, go no more waltzing Matilda. We're going to hear Eric Bogle sing this song. Apparently it's a powerful, moving song. Let's get into it. And guys, there are times, because of copyright issues, there are times I'm going to have to pause it during the song. It's not out of disrespect to stop it, just to talk a little bit, and we'll keep it moving, guys. So please, let's let this song roll and see what we got going on here with Eric Bogle. The band played Waltzing Matilda.
I wrote this song in 1971. Now, the mathematicians will work out that was 38 years ago. Can't believe that, but this is how old this song is. And I wrote it after I saw my first ANZAC Day march in Australia, which was in Canberra in 1971. And I wrote this song, and here it is.
By the way, guys, I meant to tell you, there'll be no captions. I learned from the John Schumann song, captions are a no-no. That was a complete and total accident. I thought I was doing something good so people could follow along with the words. and it was completely off because it was the first time I had ever heard the song, so I didn't really catch on that the words weren't matching the lyrics. So guys, I'm not doing that ever again. So my apologies to those that didn't read. I updated in the comments. I apologize for that stuff. It's not intentional. It was for good intentions, and it just turned out I had 1 million comments, and all you guys were respectful about it, and thank you. Realizing that it was the first time I had ever heard the song. So thank you for being respectful about, hey, Johnny, that those captions were not lining up at all with the lyrics. Didn't tell the story the correct way. So, and I get it, and I thank you guys for being respectful with that toward me, who was completely unintentional. My intentions were good. And I will not be doing that again. So we'll follow along with the song, which you guys probably know way better than I do, as this is my first time hearing this one as well.
Next year, John and I celebrate our 30th anniversary together. I bought him a gold watch. I bet you're glad I came into that Salvation Army hostel. Huh?
And rescued me.
Now when I was a young man, I carried me pen, and I lived the free life on the roller. From the Murray's green basin to the dusty outback, oh, I waltzed my Matilda all over. Then in 1915, my country said, son, it's time you stop rambling, there's work to be done. So they gave me a tin hat, and they gave me a gun, and they marched me away to the war.
Guys, help me out on the tin hat. He said they gave me a tin hat and a gun. Is a tin hat known as a helmet? Is it known as a helmet, or is it something else entirely? Please, guys, let me know on that one. I'm loving the way it's starting out already. I can already tell this is going to be an emotional song. An emotional song and deep, I can already tell.
And the band played Waltzing Matilda as the ship pulled away from the quay. And amidst all the cheers, the flag waving and tears, we sang for Gallipoli. How well I remember that terrible day, how our blood stained the sand and the water, and of how in that hell that they called Sula Bay, we were butchered like lambs at the slaughter.
Butchered like lambs in a slaughter. That's frightening. Butchered like lambs in a slaughter. I think that goes back to when I said corpses piling up around higher and higher. That's, again, I don't know what that feels like. That is incredible monstrosity. It's just an incredible monstrosity. It really is. I don't know how people survive that, and that it says a lot about PTSD and the seriousness of it when people come home with these nightmares and these things that I can't even explain what people must go through with that, and the families that have to support them as well, and all the caring and love and be in that tight unit as a family when they're home to help them as well. So God bless all of you that go through that and have a family member that's going through that. So we'll get back into that. I'm going to back that up a little bit because that was a pretty deep lyric right there, and it really hits home.
We were butchered like lambs at the slaughter. Johnny Turk, he was waiting, he primed himself well. He showered us with bullets
and he rained us with shell, and in 5 minutes flat he'd blown us all to hell, nearly blew us right back to Australia. But the band played Waltzing Matilda when we stopped to bury our slain. We buried ours, and the Turks buried theirs, and we started all over again. And those that were left, we tried to survive in that mad world of blood, death and fire. And for 10 weary weeks I kept myself alive, though around me the corpses piled higher. Then a big Turkish shell knocked me off overhead, and when I woke up in me hospital bed and saw what it had done, oh, I wished I was dead. Never knew there was worse things than dying. For I
Never knew there was worse things than dying. That must have been when he lost his legs. Never knew there was worse things than dying. That's when he realized he lost his legs and he never would do the waltzing Matilda. That's, again, that's deep. That's deep, and I think that's where you start wondering what decisions you'd made in life and what decisions bring you to any road that you land on. Because you, right now, wherever you are is exactly where you're supposed to be at this moment right now. That's crazy thoughts, and that's when you're in tune with yourself and laying there and he had lost his legs. That's a lot of reflection and a lot of time to wonder, do I make the right decision here? Was this really worth it? It's really scary. It's really scary stuff. One decision can change your entire life. I mean, it's obvious, but it can still rock you.
I'll go no more waltzing Matilda.
Teal say no more waltzing Matilda.
For I'll go no more waltzing Matilda. All around the green bush far and free, to hum tent and pegs, a man needs both legs. No more waltzing Matilda for me. So they gathered the crippled, the wounded, the maimed, and they shipped us back home to Australia. The armless, the legless, the blind, the insane, those proud wounded heroes of Suvla. And as our ship sailed into Circular Quay, I looked at the place where me legs used to be, and thank Christ there was nobody waiting for me to grieve, to mourn, or to pity.
Did he just say that he was glad there was no one to greet me with grieve and pity? Let's back that up. That was deep. I think that's what he just said. Something along those lines. I'm paraphrasing right now, but it was something along those lines. That he was happy that there was nobody there to greet me with grieve and pity. Wow. He didn't want anybody feeling sorry for him. Let's go. Let's hear that again.
Waiting for me to grieve, to mourn, or to pity.
To grieve, to mourn, or to pity.
But the band played Waltzing Matilda as they carried us down the gangway. But nobody cheered, they just stood and stared, then they turned their faces away. And so now, every April, I sit on me porch and I watch the parade pass before me. I see my old comrades, how proudly they march, reviving old dreams of past glories. The old men march slowly, old bones stiff and sore, the tired old heroes from a forgotten war. And the young people ask, what are they marching for? And I ask myself the same question.
He said the children ask, what are they marching for? And the soldier that lost his leg said, he asked the same question. That's deep. That is deep. The children watching them march are asking, why are they marching? And he's been there, done that. 2 legs to show for it. Gone. Saying the same thing. That is deep. Wow. Wow, that's deep.
And I ask myself the same question.
Wow.
But the band plays Waltzing Matilda. The old men still answer the call. But as year follows year, more old men disappear. Someday no one will march there at all. Waltzing Matilda, waltzing Matilda, you'll come waltzing Matilda with me. And their ghosts may be heard as they march by that billabong. You come a-waltzing Matilda with me. Thank you very much. God bless.
I'll tell you what, this week we've been doing a lot of heart-wrenching, soul-ripping songs in remembrance and respect for the fallen. The sacrifices that people have made for their countries, these soldiers, these young soldiers have made for their countries, for our country, for our freedoms. They deserve so much respect. And to the families that deal to this day of loved ones that have come home with the PTSD and the horrors of from what they've seen from their own wars and their own battles. Now it's the war within themselves. The war within themselves that goes on daily. And their families that are there to help them. This is deep, guys. This has been a deep week of songs. We're going to get back into the footy. We're going to get back into the Essendon and Collingwood. I'll do a review on that whole game from the start to the finish. And then we get back into the rounds. Again, I didn't do round reviews out of respect for all the veterans and out of respect for why we even have the freedom to play these games. Why we have the freedom to make the decisions that we make to talk about your team versus my team and who's the best and who's not. I mean, I'm a fan of Brisbane. I'm a fan of Collingwood. Mason Cox right there. That's his Guernsey right there. People like, Johnny, how can you be a Brisbane and a Collingwood fan? Nobody does that. I do that. I have 2 teams for every sport that I'm in. But the whole point is the soldiers that are out there fighting for our freedoms. Let us enjoy the games that we play. Let us enjoy as fans. Let us enjoy each other. They fight for those freedoms that we can walk out of our doors knowing that we're safe and protected by these young men and women that are out there fighting for us. Thank you to every veteran out there. Thank you to the families that support their veterans. Thank you for everything. I appreciate it 1,000%, guys. 1,000%. Thank you for requesting this song. This was deep and emotional. This was humongous. I see why you guys continuously drop these requests in. I wanted to make sure I got this in. I was going to do the Essendon and Collingwood game today. I'm going to do that on my next video. That's the one we're going to get into. But from the services on, that's what we're going to do. So I can see everything in one big shot. I can watch the replay on Watch AFL. I'm so happy for that app. That is an amazing app. I get to see all the games. So, guys, again, this week has been entirely about ANZAC Day and the respect and remembrance of all of them, of every single soldier, every man and woman that has ever fought, is fighting, and is out there right now. I'm Johnny Basement, guys. I'll see you on the next video, and I am out.